One of the big storylines in the post-game news conferences. I want you to hear both Steve Kerr and Draymond Green talking about that exactly.
They got a lot of middle linebackers on that team. They're sturdy, and we look like more like volleyball players, long and lean. But we've done this many times before. Everybody tries to be physical with us, and because they should. That's the best way to try to beat us.
We go into a fight thinking it's a fair fight, and it's not. They're doing whatever it takes to win. And not that they're like doing anything dirty or nothing like that, but they're doing whatever it takes to win. And we're just kind of rolling in like, oh yeah, we'll box, and they slamming us. So we got to just change our mindset. And I think if we change our mindset, then we'll be just fine.
Well, we felt we needed to bring our own middle linebacker in here, or in this case, a defensive tackle, for some thoughts on that. Because as you hear them talking about that and you look at the way the physicality with which Houston is playing, you love basketball as much as you love football. What are you seeing and hearing?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know much about the plus minuses and usages and all of the terms you guys use. Been learning a lot. But what I will say is in professional sports, you trying to dictate the tempo. You're trying to get the other team to play the game you want them to play. And that's what Houston was able to do last night. As I was watching this game, I was thinking the same thing. Steph has never been a physical basketball player. Klay Thompson, we talked about being one of the best two-way players in the NBA a couple years ago, but they're pressuring him. They're putting bodies on him. P.J. Tucker played this way. Think about the series last year with Trevor Ariza. They were physical with the Golden State Warriors, even without Chris Paul in Game 7. They got in them, they got under him. We saw Patrick Beverley get physical with KD in the first series, and it bothered him a lot until he started shooting over the top. So I think in football, if a team wants to play the air raid system, you want to beat their offensive line up and get to the quarterback. That's the best way to stop them. In basketball, when you know you have that many shooters, that many skilled guys offensively, you want their bodies to start wearing down by the fourth quarter. I think that's what's happening.
Also, for the Golden State Warriors, again, their motto is strength in numbers, but they're not deep. Okay, and the Houston Rockets do a really good job of switching. That forces them to play isolation basketball. It takes away the drive and kick, open three-point shots. And if you really look at who you fear for the Golden State Warriors taking open three-pointers, you would say the Splash Brothers and KD, and that's it. So based on that, we know them for being like a high-volume, knockdown three-point shooting team. The Houston Rockets are beating them at that game. That's why the series is tied.
Can I tell you who needs to do a little bit more?
Tell me.
And it may not show up in the box score, but when I see video of Draymond Green flopping, I'm like, okay, all right, Draymond. Like, I see what kind of Draymond Green you are in this game. Like, that's not who you've always been. So now, like, Draymond, if there's one guy that can combat P.J. Tucker, I'm not saying they're going to guard each other, but from that mindset mentality, like, Draymond needs to start being the old school Draymond. Like, maybe even if he gets attacked, hit somebody with a hard something, but set the tone for this team in a different way because they need him now more than ever.
There's that battle that you're talking about. But what you heard him say it in there. They're bringing it to us. You heard Draymond himself saying it. He's the guy, you're saying, who was responsible for creating that mentality for his own team.
Yes, I mean, he is the enforcer. Every team needs, and Jay Rose, you and I, we talked about this. You play in a lot of playoff games. I watched a lot of games. There's nothing wrong sometimes if you're coming down the lane, somebody just batting you with the elbow, and you feel that you're like, man, I ain't coming down this lane no more. You need that physicality for somebody to set the tone for your team, and that's what P.J. Tucker's doing.
That's what P.J. Tucker is bringing to this team. And P.J. Tucker, Houston's out-physicaling the Warriors offensively, too. Their offense is physical. Like, everyone talks about competing defensively. Think about how Houston plays offensively. They're playing downhill. They're getting in the lane. They're hitting people. They're getting to the rim. I think Gordon, his ability to make Steph defend, putting Steph in situations where eventually he does have to switch. And what are they doing? They're going right at him. They're banging him off the ball with screens. Eventually that's going to wear you down. And I think the physicality of P.J. Tucker, the physicality of Chris Paul, the physicality of the way James Harden plays has worn down Golden State in a lot of ways.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. When you get to the playoffs, your role players are the most important. Think about when Golden State was rolling. It was Andre Iguodala. Livingston came in and gave them great minutes. They're not getting that. They become reliable on a superstar. KD, it has changed everything. The dynamic.
They also had Zaza. They had Zaza, too, and Zaza was that force down low.
So now we're about to move into another team that's playing that way as well.
That's why this is a different Golden State Warrior team, and that's why they're vulnerable. They're not strength in numbers anymore. They rely solely on their starters, and Andre Iguodala didn't have a big game. And they used to rely on the three-point
Whatever,
shot
Jordan
because they
Bell.
have multiple people that can make them. The Houston Rockets are beating them at their own game.
By the way, there were 2 words that have not been mentioned in our 13 minutes so far, and they should be, and those 2 words are Boogie Cousins. We didn't know how much they'd miss him. I tell you what, he would make a huge difference in what we're seeing out there right now.